Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Rubina Akhtar, lecturer in physics at BAM PECHS Government Degree College for Women. Today I am going to start lecture series under the supervision of Principal Professor Rukhsana Baloch. We will start new chapter motion in 2 and 3 dimension, and the main topic of today's lecture is projectile motion. The main objective of this topic is to differentiate between the motion in 1 and 2 dimension and understand the projectile motion, its assumption and equation. Last class we talked about motion in 1 dimension when an object is moving in a straight line, either it is moving along vertically or horizontally only. Today we will discuss motion in 2 dimension when the object is moving in such a way its both x and y coordinates are changing. For example, let's see in this figure, the object is moving upward as well as rightward simultaneously. So in this figure, the object is changing its x and y coordinate at any instant. So basically this is motion in 2 dimension. We have two common examples of 2 dimension: projectile motion, this one, and circular motion, this one. In this lecture we will focus only projectile motion. Graphically visualization of 1 and 2D motion. Okay, let's see in this graph. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. This graphical behavior shows that the object is moving parallel to along the horizontal axis. For example, in this point and this point we have only x is going to change but y is same. So this is an example of the rectilinear motion. So this is 1D. Okay, let's move toward this one. In this graph, the object is moving along the straight line along the diagonal of x and y axis. If we take this point and this point, in both position x and y is changing, and it seems like a motion in 2 dimension, but actually this is not correct. This is also a 1D. Let's see how. Just start to rotate this axis and you will get new position like this. In this position, this diagonal line is just parallel to the horizontal axis, same as the first one. So we can, after all, we can say that if the object is moving in a line, either it is parallel to the horizontal axis, parallel to the vertical axis, and along the straight line along the diagonal, this is 1D. Okay, this is the main focus of today's topic, this curve path. Okay, let's see it at any instant. This curve path is going to change its x and y coordinate, and if we rotate this orientation of this axis, so we will get at any position we will get the new curve path. So after all, visualizing the 3 conditions, we encapsulated that for motion in 1 dimension object will move in a straight line, and for 2D object will follow the curve path. So 2-dimensional motion takes place in a plane. What do you mean by projectile motion? We know that what is motion. So what is projectile? An object that thrown obliquely, or in other words, neither parallel or perpendicular into the air with some initial velocity and experiences only downward constant acceleration. For example, if I am throwing a ball with some angle into the air, so this ball is the projectile. And what is projectile motion? The motion of an object that is subjected downward constant acceleration. For example, the motion of the cricket ball. So projectile motion is a combination of horizontal motion and vertical motion. So projectile motion is an example of 2D as well as an example of the motion with constant acceleration. Okay, assumption for a projectile motion. The acceleration due to gravity is constant over the range of motion as it's directed downward. Okay, in the previous slide, we have seen that when the object in projectile motion, the object is moving downward with constant acceleration. So this is the first condition or first assumption for a projectile motion. And the second one is the medium of projectile motion is assumed to be non-resistive. For example, the air resistance is neglected. We assume for now that we can neglect the effect of the air resistance. This is our assumption. At the end, I will consider the effect of air resistance on projectile motion. And the third one is the rotation of Earth does not affect the motion. So the key point to remember, a projectile is an object on which the only force is gravity. It means that F is equals to minus W because the downward direction of the force. So Ma is equals to minus mg and A will become minus g, and this is the constant acceleration directed downward. Okay. Furthermore, we assume that in this case the motion of the projectile is confined to an xy plane. So keep remember, this is not the assumption of the projectile motion, this is assumption in this case. So in this case the motion is confined to the xy plane. You can take x or z plane, this is your own choice, but I am taking xy plane. Okay. Let us further choose the origin of our coordinate system to be point at which the projectile begins its flight. For example, let's see in this figure, the origin is the point at which the ball leaves. For example, this point the ball leaves thrower's hand. For example, the choice of origin implies is that x naught, y naught and z naught is 0. So this is the point. Origin of coordinate coincide to the point at which the projectile begins. The origin of the coordinate and initial position of the projectile is at same position. So Ax is 0 because there is no horizontal force. Ay is minus g because there is only downward constant acceleration acting on the projectile. Az is 0 because we are taking xy plane. So initial position x naught, y naught and z naught is 0 because we are taking at origin of coordinates. Okay, in this figure, footballer throw the ball with initial velocity v naught. This is the initial velocity, or in other words you can say that the velocity of projection. At time t is equals to 0, the instant the projectile begins its flight, which makes an angle theta with the positive horizontal x-axis, and so this is the x and this is the y component of the initial velocity. So v naught x is equals to v naught cos theta, v naught y is equals to v naught sin theta, same as you studied in metric and inter. So keep remember, in projectile motion the first step is to block or resolve the vector initial velocity to its component. So this is the first basic step in the projectile motion. Now the question is that why projectile follow this curve path in this way? Why the projectile follow this path? So let's see. For understanding of the visualization of this, we should have a knowledge of the vector operation. So let's see, this is the object or a projectile thrown horizontally like in this way. So at that instant, object has only initial velocity and the vertical component of the velocity is 0 at time 0. V naught y is 0 at time 0. The object is moving horizontally due to the initial velocity and vertical is due to the gravitational force. So this is the first position. The object is moving horizontally due to the initial velocity, but also object is moving vertically downward due to the gravitational force. So we have two forces. One force is 0 along the horizontal and there is only act vertically force. So the net force is directed downward. So the object will move in the direction of resultant force. But the object is not moving vertically downward because there have also the horizontal, constant horizontal component. So the resultant will move like in this way. So in this point, this is the constant horizontal force and the downward velocity component is going to increase because of the gravitational pull is going to increase. At new position, we will get like this. So this is going to 3 and this the resultant velocity vector direction will become like this way. Okay, this is the true picture. You can see the horizontal component is same at every instant, but here the vertical is 0, initial 0, then this will going to start and this is going to increases. So this is the basic point to visualize this pattern as constant velocity in one direction, horizontal direction, and constant acceleration perpendicular to this velocity, like vertical direction. This is the diagram to confine our attention to what happens in the xy plane. Let's see. The instant, this point, the instant of projectile begins its flight at time t is equals to 0 with initial velocity v naught, which is making angle theta with the positive x direction. The x and y component v naught, as we done in the previous slide, v naught x is equals to v naught cos theta, v naught y is equals to v naught sin theta. Ax acceleration along the x-axis is 0 because no horizontal force acting along the x direction. So the horizontal velocity component retain its initial value throughout the flight. Vx is equals to v naught x is constant at any instant. Ay acceleration due to gravity acting along the vertical direction is minus g. V naught y is the initial vertical component of the velocity. The vertical component of the velocity changes with time due to the constant downward acceleration. This is the whole diagram. If we want to find out the resultant velocity vector at any instant during the motion, like for this is the resultant velocity vector. So if we want to find out the magnitude of this velocity vector, so we will use this formula. V is equals to under root vx square plus vy square at this point. For example, I am taking at this point. So at the same point, if we want to find out the direction of the velocity vector by any instant, so we will use this formula. Tan phi is equals to vy upon vx, as we done in the previous chapters. So this velocity vector, this vector is tangent to the path of the projectile at any instant, like this. This is the tangent at every instant. So this is the point of launch and this is the point of impact. The distance between the point of launch to the point of impact is known as range or horizontal distance, and the path, this path followed by a projectile is called trajectory, and this is look like a parabola. and this is the point of the maximum height. We will find the all parameters of the projectile motion. Okay, we are dealing displacement, velocity, acceleration, all are vector quantities. They have a magnitude as well as direction. So I am taking upward direction is positive. So this is your own choice. If you are taking upward is positive, of course then downward will become negative. If you are taking downward positive, then upward will become positive, negative. So this is your own choice. So I am taking upward positive as a positive direction. So S displacement is positive in upward, downward negative. Velocity is upward positive, downward negative. Acceleration is upward and downward is negative because we are talking about the constant downward acceleration. Okay, equations for motion with constant acceleration. Keep remember this is for constant acceleration as we done in the previous chapter. So this is x coordinate, this is for y coordinate, and this is for x, y, z. The x coordinate of the particle's position at any time obtained from the x component, the y coordinate obtained from the y component. These equations state that the x, y, and z component of the motion proceed completely independent one another. For example, the x acceleration only affect the x velocity, and change in the x position is entirely determined by the x acceleration and the initial velocity of x. So this is the key point to remember. In projectile motion, x and y coordinates are independent to each other. Now we assume that the initial position is at origin of coordinates, so x naught, y naught, and z naught is 0 because the origin of coordinate is 0, 0, 0. Okay, now we are going to confine the xy plane only. So I am taking x coordinate and y coordinate and putting the initial condition as well as the assumption of the projectile motion. Ax is 0, x naught is 0, ax is 0, x naught is 0. Ay is minus g, ay is minus g, y naught is 0, and y naught is 0. Now these equations will become more modified, and this is known as equations for projectile motion. Ax is 0, Vx is constant, x is equals to v naught xt, because we know that when the object is moving with the constant speed, we will use this formula s is equals to v2. So this s is along the horizontal direction, so that's why we are taking x, and the velocity is along the horizontal direction, that's why this is v naught x and t. V naught is equals to v naught x, ay is equals to minus g, Vy is equals to minus V naught y minus gt. S is h because vertical height is equals to V naught yt minus half gt square, and minus 2g s is equals to Vf is Vy square minus V naught y square. So keep remember in projectile motion the object is only moved constant in the horizontal direction, and so in horizontal direction we will use only one formula, so our calculation is only little bit complicated for the y-axis. Equations of projectile motion: time of flight, maximum height, horizontal range, trajectory, same as you studied in inter. Time to reach maximum height. Time taken by the projectile to reach the peak point of its trajectory is called time to reach maximum height. So this is the projectile motion, and this is the point to the reach maximum height. So at maximum height, the velocity, vertical component of the velocity is 0, there is still horizontal component of the velocity. So student, keep remember, in projectile motion at maximum height, velocity is not 0. The vertical component of the velocity is 0, but there is still horizontal component of the velocity. But in motion in one dimension at maximum height, the velocity is 0. So this is vertical motion, so we will take only vertical component, because we know that the x and y coordinates are components are independent to each other. So vi is equals to v naught y is equals to v naught sine theta, ay is equals to minus g, vy is equals to 0 at this point. So the first equation of motion will become 0 is equals to v naught y minus gt, and t will become v naught sine theta upon g. This is the final expression to time to reach the maximum height. Time between the instant of launch and impact. Time taken by the projectile to go from the point of projection to the same level of projection is called the total time of flight. So this is the point of launch and this is the point of impact. So point is to remember the point of projection to the same level of the point of launch. So at point of launch and at point of impact we have the same level, so y is 0. So we will take this point in this equation, y is equals to v naught y t minus half gt square, second equation of motion, putting the value y is equals to 0. This will become like this, minus minus sign will cancel, t square will cancel with t, and v naught y is equals to half gt, and this t will become 2 v naught y upon g. Therefore we know that v naught y is equals to v naught sine theta, and time will become 2 v naught sine theta upon g. So this is the time between the instant of launch and impact. Maximum height. So this is the point of the maximum height. So we are going to find out the maximum height. So at maximum height, Vy is 0, Vay is minus g, Vf is 0, Vf is equals to Vy is equals to 0. We know that time for the maximum height is t is equals to v naught sine theta upon g. So by using the third equation of motion, 2as is equals to Vf square minus Vi square, to a is minus g and Vf is 0. Now this equation will become like this, minus minus sign will cancel, so h will become v naught square upon 2g. So h is equals to v naught square sine square theta upon 2g. So student, keep remember, sine square theta is not equals to sine theta square. So this is the final expression of maximum height. Distance between the point of launch and impact. This is the point of launch and this is the point of impact. So this is the horizontal distance. So now we will take the condition of the horizontal motion. Horizontal distance between point of projection and where the projectile hits the level of projection is called its horizontal range. Okay. So the object is moving with constant speed in the horizontal direction, so we know that s is equals to vt is a formula. So this is x is equals to v naught xt, and r will become v naught xt, and we know that the time of the between the point of launch to impact is 2 v naught sine theta upon g. So putting the values we will get like this, v naught square 2 sine theta cos theta upon g. By using the trigonometric identity 2 sine theta cos theta is equals to sine 2 theta, r will become v naught square sine 2 theta upon g. So this is the expression of the horizontal range. Okay, how we will get the maximum range? For a particular projectile, v naught and g are constant. Therefore, range depends upon the angle of projection. So we know that we have a trigonometric function in the expression of range is sine 2 theta. So this will become 1 when the maximum range is maximum. Sine 2 theta is equals to 1. 2 theta is equals to sine inverse 1. So 2 theta is equals to 90 degree and theta will become 45 degree. So we will get maximum range in projectile motion when the launching angle is 45 degree. So here we have one more point to remember. We will get the same range at two different possible launching angle. One is this theta and the other is 90 minus theta. Let's see how. If one the angle is theta and the other is 90 minus theta, so see here V naught square upon G sine 2 theta is equals to V naught square upon G sine 180 minus 2 theta. So we will take common 2, this will become 90 minus theta. So this is 2 theta and this is 2 alpha. So it's mean that if the projectile is launching with initial angle 30 degree and we will get the range 40 meter. So the same 40 meter we will get another possible angle, and this is 90 minus theta, 90 minus 30. So this will become 60. So at 30 degree and 60 degree angle of launch or angle of projection, we will get the same range. So this is the point to remember. Trajectory of the projectile. We know that the path followed by the projectile is called its trajectory. So this looks like a parabola. So let's see mathematically what we will get. For horizontal motion, the object is moving with constant velocity. For vertical motion, the object is changing its vertical velocity due to the constant acceleration acting downward. In this motion, x and y are the function of one common parameter. So this is what is the common parameter? Time t. It's mean that during the flight, any instant, x and y have the same time. So in this equation, we will eliminate t and we will get the expression of the trajectory path of the projectile. So this is t from the horizontal motion, and for vertical motion y is equals to v naught t minus half gt square. So we will put the value of t in this equation. We will get this form, and v naught will cancel. Sin theta upon cos theta x minus half g x square upon v naught square sin square theta. Now we know that sin upon cos theta is equals to tan theta, x minus half g upon v naught square cos square theta into x square theta. So one more point, keep remember, cos square theta is not is equals to cos theta square. Okay, then theta, g, v naught square, cos square theta are constant. So we will put here b, and this constant is c. The new form will become y is equals to bx. B is a constant and this constant is equals to tan theta, and this is the constant is equals to this. So bx minus cx square. So this is the equation of the parabola. So it is equation of parabola is the trajectory of projectile is a parabolic. Okay, factors affecting the projectile motion. Angle of projection. This is the angle of projection. So let's see in this diagram, footballer is going to follow the different launching angle and will get the different range. Okay, when we have initial velocity 25 meter per second, initial velocity is same for all the projectiles. But see, with green and purple, this green and purple, green have the launching angle 15 degree and this is 75 degree, have the same range. This is the reason 90 minus theta. So this theta is 15 and 90 minus 15, so we will get 75. So at 75 and 15 we will get the same range but different height, because we know that h is equals to v naught square. So if v naught square sine square theta, if the angle, launching angle is increasing, the height of the projectile will increases, but the range is same for different two angle because of sine 2 theta. Okay, now this black line is 45 degrees, so see that this is the maximum range attained by the projectile. Okay, the other one is 30 degree and 60 degree, this orange and blue line. This shows that the same range but different height. Again, one angle is 30, the other possible angle is 90 minus 30 is 60, so we will get the same range because of sine 2 theta factor, and but different height because sine square theta. The greater launching angle have the greater height. Velocity of projection. Okay, this is the 30 meter per second, red one is moving, and we will get this range 91.8 meter. If this is the velocity of projection is 40 meter per second, so we will get 163 meter range. If the 50 meter per second, we will get 255 meter range. So according to formula, we can see that if we are going to increase the velocity, initial velocity, we will get the greater range. Okay, after all, the conclusion, we will get the initial velocity component at point of launch and at point of impact is same, but in opposite direction. Vy, this final velocity Vy is equals to this initial velocity minus v naught y, but in opposite direction. So final speed is equals to initial speed. This is conservation of energy. And impact angle, this is the impact angle and this is the launch angle, or both are in opposite. So let's see, this is moving like this counterclockwise, and this is moving like this clockwise. So counterclockwise is equals to clockwise. This is symmetry of parabola in the absence of air resistance. But projectile, now we will see the projectile motion with air resistance. Air resistance is an example of velocity. The greater the velocity, the greater the decelerating effect of air resistance. At low speed, the effect of air resistance is usually neglected, but at higher speed, the path of a projectile will no longer be described by a parabola as defined in equation. Let's see in this figure. When we are going to involve the air resistance, this purple line shows that the path is no longer to the parabola, and the range is also going to increase in the presence of air resistance, and in the absence of resistance the behavior of the projectile is like this, but in the presence the behavior of the projectile is like this. This is no longer like a symmetric parabola, and range is also decreases, height is also decreases. This is one more, without drag and with drag. So we encapsulated that at higher speed of projectile, the factor of air resistance is no longer to be neglected. Okay, this is your assignment. You have to do this. Is the acceleration ever zero in above condition? Is the acceleration ever in the same direction as a component of velocity? Is the acceleration ever opposite in direction to a component of velocity? Stay safe, stay positive. Thank you.